And we see a few Muslim adults saved also. And this picture right here, look at all of them. That'd stir your heart, won't it? Look at that little unhappy boy right there. We don't know why he's crying. And all the boys. And a lot of these are girls, you wouldn't notice, but they shave their heads. They don't grow hair. They don't allow their hair to grow till they get to be older because of hygiene and everything, the living conditions. But many of the girls, people say, we're the girls. They're right in there with them. See, these are girls. Different school. And I got pictures of, we got DVDs. We could take people with us here. You could go into these schools. You could preach the gospel to these children. You could teach them things and help establish. But I don't know how many schools are there. How many schools, Matt? And also in Uganda, we have open door to go into. Just as many as you want to go to. Matt, there's another school. This was so special. There was a little girl that sang a special. I have it recorded on my phone. She's one of the most beautiful. She's just so cute. And she was singing about faith and living. This little skinny guy here, his name's Moses. He heads up the cinema teams. And so far this year, he's had, how many saved so far this year, Brother Seabury?
This year we have 3,662 souls.
So far.
Yeah. And our target this year for the church planting is 609 new churches between now and 2020.
Here's this school here. They bring them outside. We told them we was coming, so they brought the whole school outside. And here's a high school. Brother Matt's up there somewhere, or Brad Noble is up there. And this is the high school, and he's preaching the gospel to these young people. And this is back at the orphanage. You can tell these pictures. These precious little boys and girls, mothers and fathers are dead, so these pastors help them. That's a great project for some people. And their clothing, this is it. They have very little. And this teacher right here, I'll try to show you the picture of her teaching. By the way, all the academics, everything is taught in English. And they use the same material they've used for 10, 12 years. If we could have someone, here's the preacher meeting, if we could have someone that would just gather the used material out of our Christian schools, we could provide material for all of them. Because when you see the material they use, and there'll be some pictures here. There's Brother Lonnie Moore. He went with us, and he taught the pastors here on music and marriage. But they can use all of our curriculum. Matter of fact, everywhere in the world that I've been, all education's in English. It's amazing, isn't it? In Cuba right now, they've ordered everybody on the island to learn English. Here's our crusade team, and that's some of the pastors in Eldoret. They're learning how to share their faith. We want to have a women's meeting this year, and Lord willing, in two places, in Nairobi and also in Eldoret. There's a pastor from Nairobi, right? Is that right?
That is, he comes from one of the most remote areas. That is, the people are known as Maasai, and that is how they dress. And because that's how they dress, he's going to dress that way so that he can reach his people. Because if I go dress this way, his people run away. They will not want to see me. So we allow him to do the same way so that he can reach his people for the furtherance of the gospel of our Lord Jesus.
How many pastors do you have in that section?
I have 6 of them, sir.
Okay. And here they're getting their little pens, the little gospel pens. We just about run out of those pens. We need about $4,000 to reprint them. And we've got pastors waiting on them. But every one of these pastors got a gospel pen and went out and showed how to win people to Christ with this little lapel pen. That's amazing. It's Brother TJ preaching away. men listening in that. I hope we can get to these other pictures before we have to leave here. But I can't get the thing to go faster. And Pastor's Fellowship again. Now this is Brother Seabury's church, Faith Baptist Church in Eldoret. And this is really a super nice building for Africa standards. One of the best. We were preaching up in Bouzia. Where's that place we preached? And all them wasps were. Must have been about 200 wasp nests in the building. And here's in the slum. Tell them a little bit about the slum, Matt.
This is outside of Nairobi, and 1.3 million people living in conditions you just cannot imagine.
That's a little girl trying to get to the feeding station. That's a buzzard following that little girl. This picture won a Pulitzer Prize. Kevin Carter took it. And that's where Brother Julius Magoo was saved in that area. There's a picture of the slum. Matt went in there with 35,000 tracts, and they were gone in just about a day. But how many people live there, Matt?
1.3 or 1.6 million, actually, I believe.
It's as far as you can see. You can't even see the end of it. Oh.
All of us can go in there with 100,000 tracts, and we'd be done with them in 1 day.
This picture right here is one of the stirringest pictures I've ever taken in my life. This is a little girl in the Congo. If you look long enough, you can see her eye right there, the light of her eye. And she is absolutely one of the most beautiful children. And I took her picture, and then when we left, we found out that they do not tell children how to be saved. We are, Lord willing, we're going to go back to Goma and try to tell these children. I hope we can find this little girl. That's another pastor's meeting, and they line up to greet you. You really feel like somebody special when you get there. As you can tell, I decided to go the other way. I had to go get a robe or something. And I'm a little finicky. By the time you get there, you've shaken hands with everybody, and now you got who knows what. These are the pastor's wives. Hey, listen, we almost had where they cooked food, but and I was in that meeting, and we had a great meeting there. This brother's Obadiah. You see the Cokes, they drink sodas and everything, but they drink them warm. They don't like cold drinks. They drink everything warm. This church has a well out front, and because it has a well, many people come here to get water. And, of course, that's one of the big problems. Here's some of the graduates graduating from the Bible school. And how many Bible schools you have going now, Brother Seabury?
There are 4 in Kenya, 1 in Uganda, and 1 in DRC Congo. We also pray that God willing, we have 1 in Rwanda and Burundi, and also
Southern
Southern Sudan.
Sudan's the next project. And next session, we'll let TJ tell you a little bit about Southern Sudan. That's some of the graduates. What's interesting, Matt may remember this, is you notice these guys don't have robes. So these guys would come and get their diploma, then they'd take the robe off and give to these guys. And I was privileged to get to preach the graduation. And these are pastors pastoring churches, right, Seabury?
Yeah, they are pastoring churches.
And they come to school and pastor church. And not all of them got bicycles, but the one that got bicycles was so excited they could go to the next village and start a church. And they love those bicycles. $50. Buy a bike and help a pastor go to the next village. A bicycle is a symbol, a status symbol over there. Then motorcycles. The guy was able to get a couple of motorcycles. These motorcycles cost around $800 US. And of course, that's revolutionary to a pastor to have a transportation. And all these pastors are hoping there'll be one who gets a bicycle. All these pastors. Can you imagine that? And here's this couple, and they're excited about their bike. They actually got on that thing and took off. You see, it's got a little pump, tires. This is Brother Timothy. Tell us about him, TJ. Here's Brother Matt Burke with the children at the orphanage out there. Those boys and girls. We had one of our ladies, Mandy, my daughter, made all of them dresses this year. Here's Brother Brad Noble, graduation. Usually it's around 30 to 40 graduates a year. So, around there. You can't imagine what these meetings are like. They're really revolutionary, aren't they, Brother Seabury? There's Faith Baptist Church. There's the graduating class. That's where Brother Seabury preaches. Back here at schools, and
Like I said, it is one of the best Baptist churches.
it is. Look at these hats. Don't you know they know how to make you look funny? I got that hat. It probably passed down for the last 30 years. Ain't no telling who wore it. My head is still itching to this day from it. As a choir, the preachers got together and sang. I wish you could hear them sing these beautiful hymns in their tongue. We should be getting back some more schools here. I think that's graduation. That sign says keep time. I'll tell you something. There is world time and there's African time. African time is very long and very slow. You wouldn't believe what we ate while we're here. Brother Seabury, we don't have a picture of where we ate. We should have done that. You never guess. Who would guess what we ate while we were in Kenya? What we ate every day? No, not hot dogs. You'd be afraid to do that. Huh? No. Chinese food. There's one Chinese family has made it, and they've got a restaurant. We don't know what they serve. We don't know what kind of meat it is, but it may have been hot dog. Here's another meeting, another graduating, those bicycles. Those are a little different. Matt, tell these young people how they could be used of the Lord in these schools. See the Bibles? We're giving the Bibles for the graduates. These are new Bibles.
Well, when you come there as an American, especially the reception, they're just open to every word you say, and it's just a matter of being able to, go there by faith, find a way to have the Lord get you there. And God's able to provide for somebody that's willing to go and preach the gospel. But there's so many things you could teach and be a blessing to these children. But the primary thing my pastor has me doing is drawing them in, bringing the gospel to the kids. And there's so much to do. It's wonderful, really.
If you learn the children's ministry, you can go teach it anywhere in the world. There's a, how do you say that name, Brother Seabury?
That is at the border of Kenya and Uganda.
There's Brother Brad Noble.
That's
Matt.
the principal from the school there. Every school you visit, the staff's waiting, the principal, they all.
People standing outside waiting on you. This is Brother Obadiah, great Christian, loves the Lord. He has 28 churches. In the last 4 or 5 years, 28 churches. Y'all singing there, aren't you, Matt? See the dirt floor? And there he's teaching the boys and girls the gospel, teaching everybody the gospel. We're going to come to an end here in a minute. We have to pause and maybe pick it up later. And so if you're not going to be able to be with us in the next meeting, let's see if we get past this to the. Oh, there's accommodations. That's not bad. You know, you really use those nets because the mosquitoes show up and they just have. You can hear them discussing: do we eat him here or take him home? So it's good to have a net between you and them. We got about 7 minutes here. It's really all about people getting the gospel to them, and we'll show some more later. But just to give you an idea, the thing that they need the most is they need help getting the gospel, printing tracts, and we teach them children's ministry. Everywhere you go, you find people are different. In Kenya, they're very, very kind people. They practice brotherly kindness. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen one Kenyan upset with another Kenyan. They're very kind people. And they're open to the gospel. And you can go anywhere and just start preaching and telling people how to be saved. Hundreds of schools they want to come in. But the pastors who have started these churches in these other areas, in their villages, they may not have a school. And the church can host a school. And they have to provide the curriculum and everything. But that's a great open door for people to help establish we don't call it Christian schools. We call it church schools providing Christian education. And but they want all the stuff in English, and the people can be trained. They're very easy to teach. But that's a project maybe somebody would be willing to do. I mean, someone needs to help provide these kind of things. It's not what I have given my life to do. Our goal is to get the gospel, to start churches, train pastors, help develop Bible schools, and publish the gospel and train lay people. But along with that, everything you can imagine. What makes you very valuable in the Lord's work is to understand how the work of God is done. If you could get a hold of the youth ministry, children's ministry, you could go anywhere in the world and help people reach youth. Everywhere in the world, there are young people waiting to hear and things. But it's a great opportunity in this part of the world. Working in 7 nations. Actually, we're working in 8 nations now. And we're going to be working in southern Sudan. And the brother there in southern Sudan, his name is Julius. I say Magoo, but that's not the way you pronounce it. Mungu. And Julius got saved and went in that refugee camp. Got saved at the church by the refugee camp. Went to Bible school there, a little institute, and learned how to read, write. He speaks 5 languages. He reads and writes English fluently and Arabic. He preaches in Arabic. he's been coming to our meetings and for the last few years, and he brings just a few sheets of paper. And I've noticed him over the years, and he writes very small. And he writes all of his notes. And he goes home, and he teaches those pastors in Southern Sudan what he's learned in our conference. I didn't know he was doing all that. I had Brother Brad Noble interview him with a recorder, and when I got home, I saw the recording, and it was absolutely moving. Do you have that recording? Oh, anyway, it's Brother Julius, and to see him and see what God's done. But he believes that God's going to let him reach all of Southern Sudan. He started 4 churches. He trained 6 pastors. Now he's got 14 more pastors he's training, and he's going to start churches in that part of the world. We ask them how much they need to live, about $15 to $25 a month. Can you imagine? But anyway, Brother Magoo, he's someone, you pray about that. That's going to be one of our new projects. We sent him some help and material. We're working now on getting our gospel tract finalized in Arabic. We can print, and by the way, that's an amazing thing. You give a gospel tract to someone, and they will pass it on to everyone. And we've seen that over and over again. And in this part of the world, the Muslims are open because they're in the schools. And Brother TJ's got one place. Why don't you come tell us a little bit about in Kurdistan about the school opportunity?
Also in Iraq, today, I've been going there. I've been there 8 times in Kurdistan. And in Kurdistan, it's a door that was open, and it looks like the way things is happening with the military gone now. There was an American missionary just got killed there, and now the door is beginning to close. I was in Syria. Syria was open, wide open. I preached at many churches there in Syria, but now the door's closed. On and on I can go. In fact, during the graduation, I'm going to have a man here from Lebanon. Did a great work. Half of his church is Hezbollah, used to be Hezbollah, and now they're Christians. All I'm saying is that the doors that are open, we need to do what we can and do it quickly. We're not working fast enough. We're not going fast enough. And also, as we think about what needs to be done, in a lot of these countries, I think about the man that I'm working with in Kurdistan. What a great man. He's working with the government, and he's our go-between. I just sit down and had a cup of tea with the liaison officer that works with the president in Baghdad. Now, I'm saying all this stuff is we've got to move quickly. If we don't move quickly, just like in Sudan, we can remember when it was closed, but now it's open. And if we're not careful, it's going to be closing again. Just like Kurdistan, I've been in and out of there many times, but now it's virtually closed. Of course, I've got a man there that tells me that if you'll come, we'll protect you. And no doubt he will. I don't have no doubt about that. And I'm going back. But yet these doors are closing quickly. And if we don't do something now, if we don't take upon ourselves,
no opportunity in
absolutely. The man that I sat down with, the liaison officer from Baghdad, he sat down with me and he said, "What do you need?" Now that's a dangerous question to ask preachers. And I said, "I need 3 pieces of land." And he told me, "We'll give it to you." And then when he gave it to us, he said, "When can we put buildings on?" I said, "As soon as we get money." He said, "If you'll begin the building, we'll finish it." This is open. The question is, how long is it going to take us to get there?
Now, about how many people, I want to tell a little bit about, first of all, you cannot go and live there. You can only go and spend a short period of time and come back.
Well, we have all of the opportunities before us. We can do about what we want to do in Kurdistan, in Iraq. If we can get something going in
How many
northern,
families in Kurdistan say they want to be the families in the school for Christian education?
it's thousands of students that are waiting. They would love to enroll their
reason is-
These are
explain why
Arabic. These are
Explain why they want Christian education over their education.
because theirs don't work. Simple as that. And they're willing. We're talking about Muslim people. Now it's very dangerous there. I don't even want you to think that it's not dangerous. Very dangerous. Now there's people that's actually getting killed there. But if we could get something going now, I believe that we could begin a toehold of reaching all of Iraq with the gospel. Right now, I have 35 men
Now, where will
in Iran.
Where will Iran bring the people to train them in using their curriculum?
In Erbil probably is the best place, or you can do it in Suleimani, and even Duhok you could do it. It's not a big deal.
Tell them what country is that?
That's in Iraq.
What about, can they come over to Lebanon?
They can come to Lebanon, but it's not necessary. I wouldn't want them to do that. I don't want to.
See, there's qualified people there that can teach. They need the material. And by the way, they have lots of money. They're not poor people.
No.
It's almost they'll pay you to come over and teach them.
Yeah. No.
They want curriculum that produces a good education. They understand.
Let me give you this, and of course our time is about up, but I had 7 men from Iraq to come to the United States.
When was that?
The end of February. 4 men were top-notch journalists from Iraq. They was in my home. I traveled around with them in several places. They even spoke in my home church. I not spoke, but attended my home church. Brother Aram did speak, the Baptist preacher. But they said this about to me: if you'll come, we'll protect you. That's all I need. And we can get something going in northern Iraq and eventually all of Iraq, but we've got to do it under the disguise of the men that are working there. It's open. Can I say that again? It's open.
How many pastors does Iran have?
He has probably potential of about, I would say no more than 10, maybe 12. But that's house churches. He has about 15. The guy that we was working with in the South has been in prison now for 6 months. He's got about 15 house churches.
What about the guy that's coming for graduation?
He's in Lebanon.
Right. What about his ministry?
His ministry is tremendous. He's started that back many years ago. He was saved out of the militia fighting against Syria. And, of course, when he got saved, he got some training. I think he got some training from here in the States and different places, and just doing a great job. Last I heard in his church, he's running about 300.
Now, his children, he's coming to see about his children going to school.
No.
No. What about?
He wouldn't send his kids to school here in America.
So they're going to, he's coming to find out what he can do over there.
No, he wants to enhance his school, and he's heard about Crown College, and he wants to see what Crown can help him to accomplish there in Beirut. I think Dr. Clarence is going to meet with him and talk with him, see what's going on with him. But the world is ready for the gospel. I don't know how to say it anymore. I've
Tell
tried.
me about Togo.
Togo is wide open. Togo, I've been to Togo many times, and in 29, there's 29 Baptist churches in the northern part. In the city of Lomé, there's probably more than 30 churches in Lomé. But it's wide open everywhere we go. And I keep saying that because I want to encourage people to get involved. And if God has put foreign missions in your mind, go with it. But at the same time, we need to reach our Jerusalem, and that's what Brother Tom and I have been trying to do, is reach our Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria. All right. All right.